How's it going, everybody? We have a new project here. What I have before you is the seat braces and the connection point for two of the seats for the electric wheelchairs that I've cannibalized. So what I'm going to do with these, essentially what I've done with these so far is I've cut this entire section up into 3 pieces. These will go on the outside here, flip that one over, that'll go somewhere right there. This piece is just trash. This piece here, remove that, remove these sides, and then remove this bracket there. So that is now going to be a base plate. And then for these, I just cut these box sections in half, so they are now L sections essentially. And how this is going to work is we'll add these in a minute. Okay, come on, I'll put that out there-ish, and then I'll put this one on there. Oh, it's so difficult with one hand. Okay, I'll go somewhere like that. And those braces will go on there, like that. And then this one, we'll have these two. Oh, I'm not recording. That's not what I want. Okay, so essentially, that is how those are going to look. And what this is going to allow me to do, this is going to be a trolley for the U-joint on my 3 DOF downstairs. And then on the L brackets here, I will be mounting bearings on either side of it, and then underneath it will be 2 more tracks of L brackets turned upside down, so the 2 pointy ends will be touching each other, and those will be the tracks that the bearings on those will ride on. So I'll have that section, and then this section right here is where I'm going to mount the motors. So I'll have to take the motors off downstairs, and then they'll be mounted there and there. And then this section here will also have bearings on it, and then it'll have 2 more tracks underneath it that it'll ride on. And then this section and that section will be connected together with just a 2 box tube or a 2x4, whatever I can find to connect those 2 together. But that will essentially be the frame for the new frame for the Surge that I will be adding. That's basically heavily inspired by Dr. ADHD's Surge build. His is a much better. It has bearings on both sides, and the L bracket comes off to the side, and so those 2 bearings riding on either side will prevent it from coming off the rails, which is certainly good. And it might be something that I need to switch to in the future, but I'm going to try with this one. I think the weight alone, the weight of the upper frame with all the peripherals plus me on this will prevent it from lifting off of the track. So we shall see if I'm correct on that, or if I need to completely rebuild it. So the next thing I wanted to show is, this is, in here is the traction loss motor that I had on my rig downstairs. And the way that I had it mounted was the gearbox on top and then the motor on the bottom. And so this gearbox right here was mounted upside down, so this part was on the bottom, and all of the gear lube inside of there, the grease, basically ran all the way down through the motor. God, so greasy. Oh, so heavy. Came all the way down through the motor and just greased everything. The commutator, the inside the housing, all the magnets, and then this is the back plate, and it got pretty bad. It's been soaking in Dawn for a little while. I'm gonna actually clean it and get some degreaser if I can find some. But I've got this motor cleaning up. Once I found out that this was leaking all the grease out of it, I actually replaced it with the other identical motor, the left side or right side, whatever the opposite of this one is, and replaced that one downstairs. And then I also switched its mounting point so it was no longer facing like the motor down and the gearbox on top. I made it to where I mounted it how it was mounted inside of the wheelchair, with the gearbox sideways and the motor pointing out, so there's no way grease will be able to get down through there. So I'm cleaning this motor up to use for the surge motor on the new platform. And as you can see, I'm reusing as much of these the old electric wheelchairs and scooters that I can. But I've also got a bunch of bearings from the wheels. I'm actually going to be using, when I pull my 3DOF from downstairs, I'm going to rebuild the entire lower frame, because it's made of 2x4s, and the 2x4s are like this vertically, so it's this tall, this thickness, but tall, and I don't want it to be that way. I'm actually going to make it flat like this to decrease some of the height. I'm also going to modify the pivot point at the front, because that one is very, very tall. It's essentially the same height as one of these, and so and then the 2x4 slots in where the wheel is, but it's still very, very tall. So I'm going to cut all that down, cut the mounting points down, get it as flat as I can, and then I'm going to replace the two caster wheels that are on the back of it right now, since those designs just make them very high. They sit very high on the sim rig. I'll replace them with these. I gotta weld plates to the front of them right there. But once I weld plates on those, I'll be able to mount those onto the rig, and that, with that design, with that mounted on the 2x4, it'll drop it to where the caster wheels will basically be right above where the bottom of the 2x4 is. So that'll reduce a lot of the height, which is nice, because this system's going to add some height, but not too much, since I'm just using bearings and not like skateboard wheels. The bearings themselves are really thin, so that won't add too much height to that system. And I wanted to get a little more documentation along the way of what I'm actually using and what I'm having to cut off to get the end product that I get. But I will give another update when I have more progress on this. I'm hoping to get these kind of everything measured out and tack welded, make sure it's good. But the biggest part is I have to go find long enough box sections that I can cut in half off of those frames that'll give me the 2 sets of rails I need. If I could get one, I would basically need 2 very long box sections, probably 6 feet around there, if I wanted these to ride on the same rail system. But I don't have money for that, and I'm trying to reuse all of the scrap metal that I can. So I'll basically make 2 independent tracks that should be the same width and be in line and all that. I'll make sure it doesn't bind and all that jazz. But that is the plan, and I will post another video once I have more progress. Talk to you guys later.